Hello, brilliant and embodied souls. My name is Kim. Welcome back to my channel. I have a tag for you today. We are doing the What Made Me Do It tag, which was put together by Dragonfly Dilly. This is a fun tag that allows me and all of us to explore why we purchase and collect the decks that we do. This is a fun exploration around what influences us to purchase decks. And it's also an opportunity to tell some stories and reveal and revel in why we collect, why I collect. We have 9 prompts. I will include the prompts down below. You are welcome to, of course, follow along, and I hope you join in this tag as well. It's been a fun one watching a few people's video responses. I try not to watch too many because I wanted to have my own process with exploring the prompts. So here we go. Prompt number 1, TarotTube made me do it. Well, for me, TarotTube has played a large role in my relationship with tarot and oracle decks in general. Back in 2020, I had more time on my hands because of the pandemic and felt it was time to finally explore the Wild Unknown deck. Tarot deck that I had purchased like way back, but never had the opportunity or space to get into. So I went online, I wanted to learn a little bit more about the deck. A YouTube video pops up. I watch the YouTube video. There's recommended videos, and pretty quickly I fall down the tarot rabbit hole because I wanted to learn how to read tarot and found a lot of content from all of you out there about what to do with the court cards, what's this thing about numerology, what's going on with the majors, etc., right? So I initially went to YouTube in order to learn about reading the tarot, but then quickly got exposed to and saw lots and lots of different kinds of decks. And I very soon realized how much potential there is in not only the tarot and oracle decks, but in having a relationship with the art. Tarot for me has a lot to do with the art and is in a way my art collection. I feel like I'm a patron of art by collecting decks. So TarotTube has played a huge role in me getting all of these decks that I currently own and have beautiful relationships with. But there is one deck that really stood out to me with this particular prompt and the ethos of this tag. That deck is this one, the Trionfie del Luna Paradoxical Illustrated Pip Edition by the one and only Patrick Valenza. Yep. This art is not something that I would normally go for. In fact, the first time I saw the Deviant Moon, I thought to myself, nope, that is definitely not for me. The reason why TarotTube made me do it has to do with Anna over at Astro Lady Tarot. Anna is someone I really respect She has amazing content, very thought-provoking content. I've always found her to be a unique and interesting voice within the community. She has a deep, deep relationship with the Marseille version of this deck. And her affinity with that deck really, really influenced me. I thought to myself, wow, I would love to have a relationship like the one that she has with that particular deck. You know, I was very enamored with how she spoke about the Marseille version of this deck. I love the paradoxical version. Excuse me. there was just something about the way she spoke about the characters within that deck that turned me on to Patrick Valenza's artwork. I thought, why not give it a try? At the time, the Marseille version of the paradoxical wasn't available, or it was available in like rose and purple or something. And he was offering a pre-order of the illustrated version. I, again, at that time was much more comfortable with illustrated pips. So I thought that would be a better route for me into his artwork and into his decks. That proved to be not so much the case. I have never gotten along all that well with this deck. The characters are very funny. They're raunchy. They are ridiculous. They're also creepy and at times confrontational. You know, there's like this nine of coins. I mean, like that's a great nine of coins. It truly is, but there's just something that never quite worked for me with this artwork. I don't get along with the creatures. They're just not quite my thing. The deck reads really, really well. It is very clear. It's very cutting. It has a unique and powerful point of view. I will give the deck that. But we just haven't been able to form a relationship. And in all fairness to the deck, maybe I was expecting too much because of Anna's love. I blame you, Anna. Not that you will ever see this video, but I say that, of course, with all manner of respect and, of course, kindness. I am looking to rehome this deck. I would love to find it a good home. So if you are interested in this weirdo, please let me know in the comments below. Moving on to prompt number 2, my heart made me do it. That has to be this amazing independently produced oracle, Mother Witch, which is created by Natasha Khan, aka Bat for Lashes. I was on the fence about this deck, not because of the artwork or anything to do. It comes from the UK and it's just rather expensive. You only get 40 cards, but it was all heart for me because I adore Bat for Lashes music. Natasha Khan is such a creative force That comes through in her music, and that comes through in this deck. The colors are everything. The illustrations are so magical. Each card is infused with delightful, delectable whimsy. This deck is empowering. It is female centric. It is all about divine creative energy. It is a very powerful deck, especially for somebody who is maybe a new mother or identifies as a mom within the witchcraft pagan world. Natasha Khan created this deck while she was pregnant, and that theme of Mother Witch, which is so beautifully illustrated in this particular card, comes through. There's this divine creative energy infused within the deck. Coming back to this empowerment point, the guidebook and images are just so supportive of the creative process, which is a type of gestation process in and of itself, right? You're birthing a creative work. So I find this oracle to be incredibly useful in my creative endeavors and in my development as a artist, writer. Yeah. I mean, I'm a therapist, as some of you might know, and that is also a very creative act. So I find this oracle to be really, really essential in my collection and in my card practice. I had a lot of confidence about this deck being amazing because of the creatrix. And then, but I was still on the fence about it because of the titles, like Thurman, Sorceress. I wasn't sure if I would be able to work with the titles, given that there are no keywords and there's a lot of nouns and proper nouns going on here, like Spice Maiden, Mushroom King, Mother Soul. You don't get a ton of guidance based off of the title, although that's not actually true. And that's actually what my heart has found. The titles give me a lot of intuitive hits combined with the artwork. I consult the guidebook with this deck because I love the guidebook. However, I don't think I would have to depend on the guidebook in order to get really powerful messages with this deck. I have not read for others with this. However, I think for the right type of reading, the right client, I could absolutely see myself reading for others with this particular deck. But it's close to my heart. I just adore the ethos. Everything about this deck works for me, and it has found a deep, deep place in my heart. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it came with this beautiful paper, and I decided to keep it and wrap the book up in it while I store it. Okay, prompt number 3. My head made me do it. Well, that would have to be the Deleted World. This is a very heady and intellectual deck. It is deeply philosophical. It is based in this idea of the deleted world, which is a world in which our relationship with technology comes into question. This deck is looking at the influence of technology on our lives. It is asking us to confront our relationship with technology, how that relationship impacts our bodies, impacts nature, impacts our relationships. It is a hard-hitting, deeply existential deck. I love how thought-provoking this deck can be. It is so uncanny. The readings with this deck are at times creepy. Like creepy good, like creepy, like on point, like so head tilting that you're like, whoa, are we living in the Matrix? Oh my God, the Matrix is all around us, you know? This deck is pulls me into that type of feeling, those types of questions and themes. The artwork is digital collage, and we've got very modern feeling images, but we've also got Victorian types of images. I mean, check that card out. Yeah, it's got this like really awesome juxtaposition of modern with antique. I do sometimes refer to this as my steampunk deck because I have yet to find a steampunk deck that like really works for me. I'm very picky, but there's something about this deck that, although it is not classically steampunk, feels steampunk to me because of that conversation between the old and the new, the analog and the technological or digital. Yeah. The cardstock on this deck, or of this deck, is just divine. Check out the swoosh. We've got this awesome linen. It shuffles like a dream. Oh, so good. The guidebook. You definitely need the guidebook when working with this deck. I'm still getting to know it. I think I will always be getting to know this deck. It's jam-packed with Easter eggs and hidden references. But when I slow down to work with this deck, as I said, it can be so uncanny. The readings are spot on. But I do need to use the guidebook, and therefore I have not read for others with this particular deck. It feels like a me deck for some of the reasons that I've just mentioned. Prompt number 4, the title made me do it. Need I say more? The European Goddesses and Spirits Oracle deck. What a beautiful compilation deck that gathers together European spirits, goddesses. This is a divine feminine deck through and through. The title drew me because of my European heritage. I really wanted a deep dive European based deity deck. A lot of the deity decks out there are pulling from many world pantheons, which is awesome. I think it's great to learn about other cultures and understand the ancient spiritual practices of people from around the world. That said, some of those decks can feel hodgepodge to me, and I've always had this question of like, are they doing justice to the beings and deities represented in that deck. And often it just didn't feel like that to me. It didn't feel like the authors had done enough research, had put enough thought into the representation of the deity. And that bothered me. This deck and its creator, Joanna Poley, who also has a YouTube channel, feels so intentional. So much work and effort was put into this deck. It's well researched. It's so well thought out. The depictions of the deities and spirits are really well considered. I can feel the love and the effort that went into the creation of this deck. And when it comes to a deity deck, that's the kind of energy and intention that I'm looking for. The name just sold me because I wanted to learn about the different goddesses that, you know, my ancestors and people of European heritage, you know, had access to. You know, in the spirit of learning where we come from, it felt like the absolute right kind of deck to have in my collection, the right kind of deity deck. I did purchase the companion book. I've loved reading it. As I said, the author and creator did such a great job putting this beauty together. Okay, prompt number 5, the art made me do it. I immediately thought of the Floricos Tarot by Carmen Sorrenti. This is another independently produced deck. If you've been around my channel, you know the story of the backs. When I saw this creature on TarotTube many, many years ago, I knew, excuse me, I knew I had to bring this deck home with me. It is dreamy, it is psychological. There is just so much depth held within these cards. They are poetic. They are emotive and evocative. This is not your bog standard tarot deck. There's so much unique symbolism going on. I just adore how odd some of the cards are, right? Like this 8 of coral, aka 8 of water. There's like this cat on this person's head. Like, what is going on? It's odd. It's a very odd deck, and I love weird decks. I love decks that are forces onto themselves, and this deck is a force onto itself because of its visual language. We've got the minors done in this sketch style. Meanwhile, the trumps are done in a much more painterly style. The images are just raw. This devil is one of my all-time favorite devil cards. You understand the energy of the devil when you look at this card. Big time, big time. So the symbolic language of this deck is just so strong. The artwork was clearly thought through. You know, a lot of attention was paid to the different symbols and how different cards relate to each other. The 10s, for example, correspond really, really well to the aces of the suit. So again, there's just a lot of internal logic within this deck that I really, really enjoy. The art sings to me. And then, of course, we've got an artistic reference to one of my favorite artists, Valerie Myers. Need I say more? Need I say more? There is a companion PDF that you can get your hands on that goes along with this deck that does explain some of the artwork in a little greater detail, I recommend checking that out. But the guidebook is in and of itself awesome. It is very poetic. Again, I just love that. It's such an artistic deck. Prompt number 6, the hype made me do it. Okay, TarotTube, please don't come for me. Yeah, I'm in that camp. The Ritual Tarot feels a touch hyped to me. I have a first edition, so I joined the hype pretty early on. I absolutely understand why people love this deck. I was drawn to this deck. The collage is raw. It is thought-provoking. It is feeling-provoking. It's very unique. I love the use of statues and fine art, the use of ancient objects is really well done. Those objects juxtapose, with these awesome landscapes, tell such a great story. It's a really powerful deck, truly. So again, I understand why people would be all about this deck. It taps into the human essence. There's something ancient and old combined with new and modern. Yeah, I mean, it's really great. I guess the reason why I say it's hyped, it is people's, like, so many people just adore this deck and speak to their relationship with this deck. I have yet to create the ideal relationship with this deck. We haven't been able to connect. I sometimes feel put out in the cold by this deck. It's kind of like this deck says, like, you're not cool enough for me. And I rarely feel like that with a deck. I feel like I've got some pretty cool decks. I feel like I'm a pretty cool person. I'm also very humble. I don't know. I don't often feel inferior with a deck. This deck makes me feel inferior. And maybe what it is that there is something punk about this deck, and that slice of culture, counterculture, just never quite worked for me. I'm just too sincere of a person. I grew up in the Midwest. Like, what can I say? Punk music and punk aesthetic were always outside of my sphere. And there is something punk about this particular deck. So maybe that's what it is. And I just haven't been able to get past how cool this deck thinks it is. And it is cool. It is. It's really, really cool. It's really powerful, just like punk music. But our relationship just has never taken off. And I don't know what to do with this deck. I'm not getting rid of it, but we just haven't been able to get along quite yet. And I keep it in this really cool box and everything. What is a girl gonna do? What is a girl gonna do? We're gonna move on. A girl's gonna move on to the next prompt. That's what we're gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Prompt number 7. My dark side made me do it. Ooh, yeah. The Night Sun Tarot. Ooh, yeah. This is a nasty, gritty deck. It is so dark. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Oh, here we go. Title card. It is so evil wizard. It is so naughty magician. It loves to read about issues of power. This deck is obsessed with power. The characters are really like futuristic. I mean, I call this like my Dune deck. Like, this is a fantasy deck that I can get down with. It's very dark fantasy. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's gritty. There's this great offness because of the computer generated art or computer manipulated art. There's just something about this deck that is so off that it's right. I often feel grossed out by this deck and kind of disgusted by it, just like a little bit, but in the best possible way, like in a very erotic kind of way. It's a sexy deck, for sure. It speaks to, again, like issues of power and the exchange of that power. The characters in this deck are very cool, right? They are intimidating. I sometimes feel a touch intimidated by this deck, but then like not at all. Like this Empress, she's a total porn star. Like, let's just be real. There's an aggression within this deck. Like, everything that society tells us that we shouldn't think, that we shouldn't feel, don't do this, don't do that. This deck is like, no, like think about it. Let's rumble. Let's go after what it is that we want. Yeah, it's gritty. It's so gritty. And my inner evil magician, my inner evil wizard loves this deck. And it's such a great divinatory deck. This deck likes to tell the future. It truly does. It truly does. And it's a great pips with personality deck, which is another reason why I adore it. Okay, we are winding things down. Prompt number 8, my inner child made me do it. And my inner child made me buy the Enchanted Tarot. It also made me buy the Zerner Farber Tarot. So this is a older printing of this particular deck. There's a newer printing that is small and wee and cute. I accidentally bought this behemoth. I have it in order. But I kept the behemoth because I really liked the guidebook of the Enchanted Tarot better than the Zerner Farber, but I like the size of the Zerner Farber. So here I am. I've got 2 copies of this deck. In terms of inner child, it reminds me of my grandma and sewing things with my grandma. She and I did all kinds of crafts together. We would make paper dolls. We would sew quilts. She taught me how to embroider, although I never really had the patience for that kind of thing. But she tried. She tried. So there's just something really special about this deck. I use it to communicate with my grandma. I also use it to tap into that like childlike creativity. I love the fabric art that is going on here. Again, it feels like so arts and crafts to me. And it's very sweet. It's a very sweet and gentle deck. You know, this tower is a great illustration of that. We've got the tower energy, but it's manageable, it's palatable. I can take the changes offered by that tower. When I need kind and gentle messages, this deck is one of the decks that I go to. Yeah, it's sweet. It's a very sweet deck and perfect for inner child work. Perfect for those days where you feel sad and you just want some milk and cookies with your grandma. Yeah, this is my milk and cookies deck for sure. And we all need milk and cookie decks. We all need those gentle and sweet decks from time to time. Our last prompt is here, and that is impulse made me do it. My impulses got the better of me with this. Of course, I am talking about the Antique Anatomy Tarot by Clara Goodchild. I never thought I would own this deck. This is for sure a TarotTube made me do it. I was never drawn to the Edwardian and Victorian curio cabinet thing. You know, seances aren't really my jam. But that being said, I have experimented with spirit boards. As a kid, I loved playing around with spirit boards with my friends. So maybe I was destined to eventually come around to this deck. And that is actually how I've been using it. I want to do more ancestor work. I want to do more communicating with the dead. That's how I plan to use this deck. But its purchase was totally on impulse. Of course, I had seen it around TarotTube, but as I said, I had written it off, like that deck isn't for me. But I was in a independent bookstore with a friend of mine and saw it, and the impulse just struck. I was like, nope, this is the time. I'm going to check out that deck. I purchased the deck. I did a reading for my friend with it right there, right then, in a nearby park. The reading was spectacularly accurate. I couldn't believe it. And my love of this deck sprouted and took off. I think that this is a phenomenal deck. The pip nature is really calling to me right now. Pip decks are becoming more and more of a thing for me, as I mentioned earlier, and the impulse to buy this deck is proving to be a wise impulse. And sometimes our impulses are really, really spot on. And I think that that is proving to be true with the Antique Anatomy. That brings us to the end of this tag. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know, what you thought of the decks I shared. Let me know if any of you want to purchase that copy of the Deviant, not the Deviant Moon, this guy. And I just want to extend my thanks to all of you for spending some time with me today. I will see you in the next video, sending you all kinds of love. Till then, bye for now.